What's up, legends? What's up, y'all? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this, whatever day you're watching this. Today is Wednesday. It is 2 official days after this super blue full moon that we had, this super full blue moon, however you want to arrange the words. Yeah, it was kicking ass, wasn't it? I already know. It brought about a lot of clarity. It also brought up a lot of feelings. I noticed that in a lot of communities, people were dealing with grief, very specifically grief that was triggering childhood wounds, right? Even more specifically, childhood wounds that have to do with the mother, right? The mother wound, which is asking a lot of us, especially because the majority of us, if not all of us, are on these new timelines. So we're on these new journeys, or in these new places, in these new environments where a lot is already being asked of us because we're still learning. You know what I'm saying? You're still learning the stipulations, you're still learning the nuances, you're still learning the culture. So while you're learning the culture, certain things in the culture are literally triggering you and making you almost revert back to, I want to say, like old patterns of grieving. That's the energy that's been coming up. It's very strong, very heavy Chiron energy. I've also been seeing a lot of ones and a lot of threes. I really feel like this message is inspired by the number 3, for real, for real. So if you've been seeing threes, know that for sure, absolutely, without a doubt, this is your message. I really wanted to just come in real quick and say, y'all, fuck these systems, right? Fuck these systems. Not to say fuck the culture, because obviously the culture has used the system for a long time for a reason, right? I feel like this is a big reason why Spirit had me start to learn and understand dialectics, because although the systems are in place for a reason, and I feel like it's really given that in these new timelines, these new systems that we are being asked to abide by or adhere to, these systems are systems that have worked for years. I'm hearing like BC time, like 300 BC. These are systems that have been worked by empires and kings from ancient times. Whether they're being called that or not, a lot of the techniques that are being used are coming from very ancient times. Spirit says that in these times, know that the social dynamics were very different. So the way that the people were able to practice these techniques also looked very different. So it would be foolish of you to think that now, in a completely different day and age, you're going to be able to, it's almost foolish of you to think that you're going to be able to work these systems the same, with the same level of, Spirit is basically saying, like, you feel like you should have a certain capability to work these systems almost effortlessly, and that's not the case because of the social dynamics that you're facing now. It kind of goes back to what we talked about a little bit a couple days ago. If you tuned into that chat, the dialectics of evolution, right? There's no possible way to know how to work something until you actually experience it. You could listen to 1,000 people that have experienced it, but until you are actually in that situation, there's no way to know how that situation is going to specifically trigger you, right? Also, grief is not adhering to nobody's motherfucking system. Let me say that too. Grief is not about to adhere to nobody's 9 to 5 hours. You feel me? Like, oh, I gotta work from 9 to 5. That means that I can only grieve from 7 to 9 after work, or I can only grieve from 6 to 6. If I gotta work at 9, then I can only grieve from 6 to 6:30, because then I gotta start getting up really getting ready for work. You know what I'm saying? But I still want to get my sleep, so the grieving got to start at 6. Grief does not, y'all know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is when you are going through these emotions and going through your processes while in the midst of being in your situation, in the work environment, right? In the book club, right? In the new, wherever you are, while you're processing these emotions, know that it's okay. Say fuck the system. Fuck the system right now. You're dealing with your own system, because until your body system is regulated, you can't even work the system effectively. Do you hear me? I know y'all hear me, and I know that y'all understand what I'm talking about, because y'all have been trying to work these systems while trying to put off grief, and what you're doing is you're dysregulating your own nervous system, your own body system, and trying to actively like do that. That's not how that works. It don't work like that. I wish it worked like that, because matter of fact, I'm glad that it doesn't work like that, because then we will all be dysfunctional as hell, but in some type of state of physical abundance. But it's like, honestly, if you get there like this, if you get there without knowing how to regulate your own self, your own system, all you're asking for is a bigger and faster path to destruction. That's all I'm really seeing, because how are you going to maintain it? I feel like it's really easy to get things, right? It's difficult to maintain the things that you get and keep it at the same quality, right? Keep it at the same level. We were talking a little bit on Patreon about how, you guys that are in new jobs, the goal is to get money, right? I'm sure you want these fat ass checks. We all do. However, you have to maintain. Well, okay, so boom. So once you get your first fat ass check, let's say that your goal was to make $1,000, right? So let's say you make $1,000 in a week. That's the fattest check you ever had. Boom. So let's say you make $1,000. Your next goal is gonna be set higher, because at this point you already know you can make $1,000 too. In order for you to even maintain making $1,000, much less being able to achieve a higher goal, in order to do that, what you're gonna have to do is maintain that level of motivation, maintain that level of confidence and bravery and fortitude that you built up in order to get there in the first place. And there's no way that you can do that if you are actively pushing grief under the rug, because grief don't work like that. We know that feelings, emotions demand to be felt, right? Grief demands to be addressed. And the longer that you go without addressing it, well, the longer, and I feel like the harder it's just gonna be on your ass. And you're gonna feel like, what's that song that's like, I'm drowning, there's something in the fountain, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bust down, bitch, I'm drowning. You're gonna have a bust down, bust down, bust down. You're gonna have all of these bust downs, right? You're gonna have the 60-inch bust down, paddock on your wrist, bust down, cubic on your neck, bust down. I don't even know what the cubic is, y'all. That's out of my tax bracket for right now. But on another round, please know I already got 50 cubans on my neck. What did Glorilla say? Curbing links. I got curbing links. About 75 of them. Trying to figure out which one I'm gonna wear today. But listen, in order for you to maintain that status, in order for you to maintain that wealth, there's a certain frequency that you have to maintain, right? In order to maintain that frequency, what you have to do is that spiritual work, that emotional work. You have to go through that grief. So know that along with the ebbs and the flows, right? The dips and the highs of the days of the journey, right? That's just natural. You have to allow yourself on some days to just grieve through it, feel through it. Fuck that system. It don't matter how long it take you. If it should take you 3 hours, but it took you 5 because you were processing grief, that's fine. That's fine. You're going to do your 3 hours tomorrow. Fuck it. Today you did a good job because you could have quit. Right? I think that's the main thing that Spirit really wants us to like put emphasis on. You're not quitting, bro. You're not walking away, bro. And so even that in itself is expressing how much of a great job you're doing, because you're not walking away. You're not giving up. You're not surrendering. You're not surrendering to the elements. If anything, you're surrendering to self, to Ori, and telling yourself, no, I love you enough to say fuck this system right now. Because when we get together, self, oh, we about to fuck this system up. We about to make this system choke. We about to gag the system. Let's gag the system. But first we gotta get through this grief. What you need is so necessary. It's so necessary. And I want y'all to know that it's okay. Because a lot of people make you feel like it's not okay to have to work through your emotions, or like you should do it behind closed doors. No, fuck them doors. Fuck them doors. They talk about behind closed doors, but they back door is open. I'm sure you can see it. We're not going to go into it. Because when you're doing the work, it's very easy to see who's not doing the work. Which is why I'm giving y'all even more credit and validation and letting y'all know that it's okay, because the people that's talking shit are obviously not doing the work. That's not where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? That's not how we move over here. We address what the fuck is going on so that we don't keep coming up 5 years later and feeling worse and making us feel like we 5 years younger because we didn't deal with it 5 years ago. Do you hear me? I know y'all hear me. I know y'all feel me, and I know y'all understand. I love y'all so much, bro. I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Today's message was presented most definitely as giving Pluto, Saturn, and most definitely Uranus. And I gotta throw Aquarius in there because we just had that Aquarius full moon, and I feel like what it did for a lot of us was it made us not give a fuck about going through our grieving processes in front of people, or even not just in front of people, but letting people see what our grieving processes look like. It took away that that shame that we had for, oh, other people might think this, oh, so and so might think that. No, fuck them and fuck that. Because at the end of the day, the only difference is you saw mine and I didn't see yours. And at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Because the next time you see me, I'm going to be shining, 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 shining. Yeah. Oh, you heard that bass? Period. Because for real, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We go through these processes so that we can shine for real. Like, y'all already know. I'm not going to keep y'all all day. Today was pretty brief, right? I kissed it, not killed it. Kept it short and simple, not long and lengthy. You feel me? Everybody have a good day, a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, a good night. I wish you all the best. I wish you peace. I wish you prosperity. I wish you grounding and groundedness. I wish you calmness. I wish you bliss. I wish prosperity for you. And I wish ease for your process of grief through this entire week. I wish you lots of ease, and I wish you lots of grace. Okay? I love y'all all the way to Uranus, all the way to Chiron. I love y'all all the way to Chiron and back, because Chiron definitely also inspired today's message, y'all. All right, I love y'all. Peace out. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.